Hey guys, the Creator13 here, back again for another Minecraft video. Today I'm going to be covering map art in the Bedrock edition of the game. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. What is a map? A map is crafted from 9 paper and is showing a 128 by 128 block area in your world, or 8 chunks by 8 chunks. It can be also edited in a cartography table, but I am not going to get into that. And then there's the locator map, which is 8 piece of paper, and a compass, and it has a little pointer on it where your character is. If you put a map and a locator map on an item frame, you'll see that this one has a green thing on it. If you place the locator map inside an item frame within the boundaries of the map, you get a little marker showing where the map is. This is about all we got compared to Java's banner markers, but, you know. Alright, so now color. So color can be made by placing blocks down. As you can see on the map right here, there is color right here. So all of these are the same color. So a lot of blocks share color, but a lot of blocks are different colors. So all of those blocks are the same exact color, but if I throw in these guys, you can tell they're a little bit different. Even the little terracotta is a little bit different, right? So all of those blocks are the same, but then these two are different. So as you can see, there's like these little dot things right here and right here. So that is because of directionality. So that is north and that is south. Alright, so if something is going diagonal down towards the south, like you're going downhill that way, right? Let's demonstrate this over here. That'll be darker because it's like the shadow is going from this block, and it's like, oh, you're shadowed now. And then this block's like, oh, you're shadowed now. And it does that for a little bit. And then this block, if you're going sloped up towards the south or down towards the north, then it'll be lighter, because it'll be like, oh shoot, you're higher than me. Oh shoot, you're higher than me. Oh shoot, you're higher than me. And it'll be light, middle, dark. And then east and west does not matter. So if I create a little bit of a slope here, it does not matter. You can see it's the same color as the middle area. But you might realize that that is not a flat pattern. It's all checkered. I'll zoom in editing, but that is checkered. And the reason for that is that Bedrock friggin' sucks. So there was an update that added a lot of the Java map features, but for some reason they didn't change the fact that it's checkered, so the map arts look kind of grainy. As you can see over here, like this pickup truck, like it looks really grainy instead of how like shiny it's supposed to look, which it can help in cases like this cement right here, or like the bricks on that house. In real life, that's bricks. Trust me on that. I'm not showing you the picture because it has my face in it, but yeah. But like, it is a bit of a hindrance, but it does look a little bit more like an old, like, grainy photo or something, so that could count for something. But yeah, you might be wondering how to start making a map. So my first line of reasoning is, what do you want to make and why do you want to make it? So I wanted to make this because it was the first picture of my camera roll, because of course it was, and then also I wanted to see a variety of different textures and colors, like listing out the pros and cons like this. Like if this were in the survival world, what would I use it for? Probably nothing, and so it would probably just go to waste, and I'd have it hanging up on the wall maybe, and that, you know. So listing out the pros and cons, it helps. If there's a specific thing you're wanting to accomplish, then go ahead, why not? But yeah. So when you're planning a map, you need a locator map. So we go down to the corner. Alright, it looks like that. Okay, maybe here. Alright, so that is a block. So we need to, it's pretty far from the corner though, so let's try there. Alright, that's a lot better. What about here? So you just keep trial and erroring this. I think that's where it's at. If I put that there. Yeah, perfect. So you keep doing that for all your corners, and then bam. So it's important not to have two maps next to each other, because you can see this is the corner I made for my map, but this goes over it. And the reason being is because this block is shading this block. If not, then this block would be lighter. Same with a lot of these. Like, some of them are in here just for consistency, but like, this is shading, this is shading, this is not shading, this is not shading, this is shading. Like, you know? So this would be over, like, if I made the same map over here, the blocks would be like overlapping. So don't make them to the same, don't make them touching on the north and south, is all I can say. Alright, you may be wondering how you take your photo and turn it into a map art, especially with all these like staircases, and how do you make it like cohesive to build with. So you're gonna want to search rebane2001.com and go to map art craft. In here is amazing, so you can pick your image. So I have my image, right? And this will show what the map looks like in Java edition. All right. So I like to select everything. Unless you want to go grayscale, you could go grayscale. And this is what it would look like in Java edition. You can then click like whatever you want over here and over here. I'll go with over here first. So if you're on Java, you can do whatever the frick that is. And then you can select your version so that you can select like the different blocks. It doesn't really matter because all the copper stuff and tough stuff shows up the same on the map. And then you can select the map size. Like if I wanted this to be a 2x2 map, you know. And then you can have a grid. You can have staircasing on or off. I don't think it matters if it's Valley or Classic. And then what I like to do for the schematic is go no blocks under, because it clears up the materials list, as you can see. Clears up the materials list a little bit. And then also it makes it more cohesive. And then block to add cobblestone, that's just like at the end, like I was showing you earlier. Alright, and then over here, you can get some presets. You can also, I think, save your own preset and like export it maybe. But in the presets, there's none, there's everything, there's carpets, and then there's grayscale. Grayscale. Okay, perfect. So how this works is, let me select everything. So if I select everything, so let's start with grass. So this shows the color that'll show up on the map. So this middle one is how it will actually show up, just flat. The dark one is the south side, and then this one is the north side. So on Bedrock Edition, it'll be alternating, but on the lighter side, it'll be alternating between this color and this color, and then on the darker side, it'll be alternating between this color and this color. So you can select none if you don't want that color in your thing at all, or you can select between different materials. So if I really had if I had a slime farm and I was like in a desert and couldn't get grass or something, then you know, I could have that. Or I could have none, or I could have that, you know? But then, like, sand is a falling block, and I don't want that. So I'm going to grab sandstone instead, because I'm not trying to go out and gather birch, and then glowstone, and then, like, I don't want to gather all that, you know? So you can change that up a little bit, whatever. And then you get a little handy-dandy materials list down here. So this is, like, the extra blocks, right? So this is not all the cobblestone you need. That's like the extra blocks at the top, and then if you had it under everything, that's also what you'd need. But then it shows you from most to least how much you need. So this is the amount of the item, 37 stacks plus 52, which is 1.4 shulker boxes. So if it's more than a shulker box, it'll have this SB number, and then if it's more than a stack, it'll have this. So you can see that for all of them. right? And hover over them. Like if I was curious, like, oh, is that gray or is that magenta? Oh, that's gray. Cool, right? Like that kind of thing. And then if you want to get rid of some of the lesser ones, like there's one red terracotta, and I don't think it adds very much because it was in the pickup truck, right? So I could go over here and I could get rid of, where is it? I could get rid of the red terracotta, and now it's not there, and it adjusts the numbers over here. And one netherrack, I don't want that either. So like I can go through and select those, right? And then when you're done, you can either download the NBT or the schematic or whatever for Java Edition. But if you're on Bedrock, view online, and then you can see this graphics. This is off the map, and then you'll see these. So these are the blocks, and then you can see your IDs. So these are your blocks, and then how far up they are. So 0 means that's you just like place it on the ground. But then this is a staircase going up. So 0, 1, 2, like that kind of thing. I personally don't use this method though. I click up here at 3D, and then I can walk around, and it lets me see my map in the third person. So I can come over here, and instead of being like, okay, so 0, 1, 2, I can just see, oh, okay, that's how that works. But if you're on PC, then you can just minimize this. Hi guys. And then go in Minecraft, and in settings, go down to video, and then go full screen off, and then you can minimize it and like get it the way you want. I personally like it like this, where it covers half the screen. So I find that a really helpful tool for designing because it's not version specific, and all the colors are the same throughout Java and Bedrock. There are 61 different colors plus 3 times as many shades. So that would be 183 different colors, including like the shades. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.